He can't afford it. He can't afford to have lackluster games. Scottie Barnes cannot afford to have lackluster games at all. At any time, every game, he has to prove that he deserves what we gave him and prove that he deserves the accolades he got. We all know that Rookie of the Year award was more of a team award because we were successful than him solely getting busy like that. He got busy. Don't get it confused. He did his thug thizzle. But let's be clear. It was more of a team award because we won, 48 games that year and was the 6th seed. He was an all-star last season. Some people question whether he should have got in or not. Whether it's part of a bigger play, a bigger plan, whatever it was, he got in, right? So he's Rookie of the Year, all-star. Now he has the big contract that could balloon to 270 with performance incentives being achieved. And he has a team that's being built around him. A luxury a lot of young players don't get. And he got it before anybody in his class. Let alone any of the guys that came after or a few years before him. It takes work to have them to be the man or be considered the man to the point where they want to build around you. And we let go of some valuable pieces just for the sake of being in this position and having this possibility of him having his own team and us seeing what that looks like. Well, now we see what it looks like. Now what? We see what it looks like with that young timeline. It should have been a mixture of veterans and young players. It has to be that way. You can't go too old. You can't go too young. It has to be a good amalgamation and mixture of the two. That's how it works. You need experience and youth and energy. You need that. It's like an older person, you know how they like to always smell a baby, smell that newness of a person coming into this atmosphere, this ecosystem, and they feed off of that. We needed veterans around who were productive. That's why I wanted us to keep Pascal. At least keep Pascal. Only one left now is Chris. Everybody is pretty much new under Scottie's wing. And he can't afford to not be out there thinking he has nothing to prove. He can't afford to have bad games. He can't afford to have mediocre games. He can't. We gave him everything. He has to prove that he deserves it. Not just to us, but to the other teams and other fans. You can't come in there and perform the way you want to perform and think it's acceptable. We're 7-26 with the crown on your head. You got to take some heat for that. You got to take some responsibility for that. And I know it's not easy to be successful at anything. You have to have achieving a goal. Nowadays, it's not about saying, I want to accomplish this, and then it just magically happens. There has to be a system. All goals from here on out have to be connected to your system, to your formula. He wants to be one of the best players in the world. He wants to be top 5 dead or alive. He wants to be MVP. He wants to achieve all these great things, but the system that he's participating in is keeping him at mediocrity. He can be as ambitious and have all the tools that he wants, but his system for preparation, his system within the games, his process after games has to be tight, airtight, in order for him to accomplish the things he want to accomplish, to perform better. Because we're going to have those highs and lows, but the lows shouldn't be at the level of regular players. He can't just accept being one of the top players on this team, because that'll get you smoked. We got these last 30 games, 3 games, we got destroyed. Lost by over 100 points. Gave up probably 70, 60, 70 free turnovers. That's on his watch. That's all on his. When you look at how he plays and look at this team and you say we got to surround him with shooters, we can't really surround him with scorers because the alpha in them will not allow them to follow him. A scorer cannot follow a Scottie Barnes. A shooter who, because they have a certain passivity to their game, rely on Scottie Barnes. The NBA is not catering to his strengths, where he can be powerful in the post and post up and use his athleticism close to the basket, because the flavor of the day is this three-point shooting perimeter game. Not even perimeter, just three-point shooting. Guard play, more skilled players. Those are the guys that are bringing in the bucks, so that's who they want to see perform at a high level. At some point, as an organization and as a team, we have to say, this is how we win. We win below the free throw line. We start inside out. At some point, someone has to say basketball is played inside out, or at least create some contrast to this similarity that we see. Everybody starts outside in. It's getting redundant, and it looks ridiculous on most teams. Most teams should be starting inside out instead of outside in, because it gives them a better chance, it gives them more leeway, and it gives them a better rhythm. And they're playing to their strengths more. We have to play inside out as opposed to outside in. We don't have the shooters. We didn't have the shooters when the year started. We got young players who are coming into the NBA who don't understand the business, and for the first time in their life, they're not the man. So they have to play behind someone else. And they have to follow someone else's lead who's just as young and filled with naivete as they are. Who are they going to answer these questions? That's why I wanted Boobie Cousins. That's why I said a year ago we should have got DeMarcus Cousins so that he can be the mentor for Scottie, to show him how to use his skill sets properly, because he got the same skill sets: power, strength, athleticism, passing ability, shooting ability, scoring ability. He would have... Us getting DeMarcus Cousins, even for a year, just to have him around Scottie would have benefited from that. Now he has to figure it out on his own. Now, and when you give somebody young something like this, it's hard to talk to them because they think they've done enough to be there. But what they're doing and who they are isn't enough for them to stay there. So what are we doing now? We're putting him in a lose-lose situation. And it's not fair to him. And it's not fair to us as fans. And he can't afford to he has to go in there hungrier than what he is. He's too satisfied with the fact that he has his own team, he has a fan base, he has all these things. He's fed now. He's full. He's playing as if he's full. He's not hungry anymore. And if he's not hungry, that does us a disservice. And you can say, I'm still hungry. Fuck you now. We watching you. We're watching you. You don't look the same as you did when you first came into the league. The energy is different. You're comfortable. And now everyone's looking at you like, yo, how he comfortable? I'm better than him. You got guys who aren't better than him saying, I'm better than him. And then you gotta look over your shoulder. Emmanuel Quickly and RJ are good. It's only a matter of time before they start saying, yo, listen, we did it this way. Now let's do it like that. We doing it this way. We got another way. Check what we got over here. We're not using Jakob correctly or as often as we should. And y'all keep saying, he's a trade piece. Well, you might want to build the value up so that we can get some magnificent shit for him. Since y'all want to trade him so bad, which is ridiculous, I say we keep him until the wheels fall off. And then drag him out there anyway. He's giving us what we need, a double-double every night. Last night, 13 rebounds. What more could we ask for? Stop being thirsty. Always on somebody. Man, listen. Not a dick riding out here. But Scottie can't afford to be comfortable. This is an opportunity that he wasn't even expecting. He can never fix his face to say he expected to have an NBA team by his fourth year and be $275 million possibly in the black at some, like, come on now. Let's stop playing. Listen, you got lucky. You matched up with you moved in while the champions were still around, and that was still a vibe, and they were still doing their thing, and now you didn't learn enough from them before they left for you to have a team and be effective the way we need you to be effective. Part of it is our expectation, blind fantasy-based expectation. The rest of it is just purely us understanding basketball and saying, all right, maybe we made a premature mistake. Shouldn't have gamed the team at all. Let them wait for it or try and figure something else out. Leave that space open. But we did it, and it's done. And now this is what we're getting. He has to show up every night. Every night, his game is supposed to be on the front. He's supposed to impose his will every night. It's his team. And if this team is a reflection of him, well, okay, 7-26 sounds about right. If he's no longer hungry the way he used to be, the way we're accustomed to seeing him. He can't afford it. They don't look at him like that. They don't look at him as a contemporary. They don't look at him as an equal. They don't look at him as he's one of them. They look at him like, yo, he fooled tonight. Homie line it, all right, he fooled tonight. Soon as he fooled. I don't care. We going at him. See what he do. He can't afford there should be a fear, a healthy concern when he's on the court, because you can't guard him if he gets below the free throw line. He can have his perimeter game. It just has to be below the free throw line where he's closer to the basket. The further away from the basket he is in our offense, the more of a liability he becomes. And then it's 4-on-5. And you already see what we got. We don't have a healthy squad. Haven't had a healthy squad all year. Emmanuel Quickly is still out. He probably gonna miss the whole damn season. We might not see him till after All-Star break. RJ, Grady is out. They should be back soon. Jakob Poeltl's coming off an injury, and Scottie is recovering and recuperating from 2 injuries at the same time. But the weight of the world is on his shoulders, and he accepted it. So you got to make it happen, Captain. You got to figure out a system, a formula to get the results numerically that we need. Listen, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Get them numbers up. And get that feel. It has to be a feeling that he's not a threat to nobody. They don't feel like he's a threat at all. To take nothing from nobody. They don't look at him like that.